truly an exciting time for Knoxville.
Covenant Health Park as a multi-use stadium has an extreme amount of potential.
We're proud to announce the new name of the stadium will be Covenant Health Park.
As you can see, incredible progress is being made if you look over my shoulder and look at the work that's ongoing. The new multi-use stadium is taking shape beautifully.
My name is Mohammed Abbas. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Denark Construction at the Covenant Health Park Stadium project.
So right now we are in punch list mode. So we are trying to wrap up all of the punch list items and really just touching up of paint and really wrapping up things all around the stadium. Over the next 6 weeks, there'll be a lot of materials and furniture and things that have to get delivered here.
I personally have worked on a lot of projects in the New York area, up in the Northeast, as well as several projects here in Knoxville. Denark Construction has worked on several transformational projects in Knoxville. We've been here for 40 years and have done projects like the Tennessee Theater, Knoxville Convention Center, World's Fair Park, a lot of really interesting, important, impactful projects in town. I think this is probably the most transformational project that I've worked on personally. Working on a project of this size is really humbling, I think. Obviously, it takes a lot of people to do it, and we have a really great team at Denark, involved in the project. But it's a very humbling experience. A lot of cool, fun challenges, stressful sometimes, but pretty fun.
So over here we have the entrance to the team store, and then the ticket booth is just to the right of that. Obviously, you can see our Knoxville marquee sign right on the frontage of Jackson Avenue there. And then adjacent to all that is our Phoenix Conversions first base gate.
So the Phoenix Conversions first base gate is a really cool entry point into the stadium. When you're in the plaza, which is a huge plaza, there is actually more plaza on this project by square foot than Market Square, which is an immense amount of plaza.
This hole is where the time capsule will be placed here in another week. And then it'll be covered over with concrete, and people will just walk right over it into the stadium every day for the next 20 years. Maybe not even know about it. So this is the monumental stair entrance. So the only thing that hasn't been done here right now is the catenary lighting that goes over, like the string lighting that kind of wraps this area here, but we can use this access to go up into the stadium.
When you're coming in off the plaza and you're walking past the statues and the trees and kind of that cool outdoor experience, you walk through that gate underneath what looks like a bridge, and it's kind of like a cool entry point. And then you're going up that main monumental stair and you see catenary string lights over your head, and then you're greeted at the top of the stair by like a welcome center. It's just a really cool experience to enter. You're walking past the batting cages, you're walking past the Goatees locker room, making your way into the concourse. So having the batting cages on the second floor of a stadium is not a very normal thing. Typically the batting cage is kind of buried downstairs somewhere. On this specific project, the design team and the owner really thought that it made a lot of sense to move it up to the concourse level, make it an experience that the fans can actually see and be able to kind of almost be a part of, whether it's before games or after games or on other days where the players might be in the batting cages. It's kind of a cool space to be in. Obviously, there's a lot of coordination that goes into doing that because it's not a standard thing to have the batting cage up on the concourse level. But between the windows and the shades and the batting cage netting and all the stuff that goes in there, it ended up being a really cool space. And there'll be portable concessions and the backstop bars over to the left. So it's just a really cool entry point into the stadium, and it gives you kind of a different focal point. Each entry has like a different focal point, and that's a pretty cool one.
And then on the concourse level, there's room for a lot of portable concessions. So that's what these outlets here are for portable concessions to kind of wrap around the stadium. We also have several concession stands over here.
So as you go through the stadium, in addition to the fixed concession stands, there's also a lot of opportunity for portable concessions. As you go through the stadium, you'll have a lot of different opportunities for different kinds of vendors, and they might not be the same, they might be different, and you know, depending on how operationally that works out, it's a pretty cool space to walk through and be able to have all these different opportunities for different experiences, whether it's retail concessions or food or beverages or whatever.
There's your drink rail, seated drink rail positions up on the concourse level, and then there's all these little box areas or suite areas where they'll have catered food and hangout space to be able to watch a game from here, which is a pretty cool view. You have our four top seats.
There's a lot of really nice four tops tables, like half round tables with rotating seats that surround those all throughout the concourse, which give you kind of a different experience. You have the flexibility and closeness of being on the concourse level, but also you have your own little private space with your own little table and you can eat and drink.
So these chairs actually fully swivel around, so you can kind of sit down here and hang out, watch the game, which is pretty convenient. One of the really cool things about this stadium is that it has a water tower, which is not a functioning water tower, but it pays homage to the old water tower that used to be here on this site. So it's a pretty cool element, especially to tie it in to the watering hole bar, and it's a pretty cool element.
The Modelo watering hole is a really cool area for several reasons. Number one, not everybody might know this, but First Creek runs right underneath it, which is a pretty cool thing to do, to be able to build that whole area kind of cantilevered on top of the creek without applying any weight on the creek is a really cool architectural and structural feat within itself. But additionally, the water tower has a huge historical significance. The water tower pays homage to the old water tower that used to be over by Knoxville Salvage back in the day. And so it's a tribute to that water tower and kind of just like a model for that.
And then there's a bunch of seating here for both seated drink rail as well as standing drink rail positions right in the outfield here. Be able to catch a foul ball or home run ball. This is probably one of the best spots to catch a game at the ballpark. Between here and the first base line, where you're right next to the swimming pool, maybe being in the swimming pool might be a cool place to catch a ball, but you need to live in the residences across the street to do that. So pretty cool spot in the stadium. One of the most populated spots probably. We're only serving water here for now, but soon we'll be serving beer. Welcome to the right field bar.
One of the really cool elements of this project is that First Creek runs right through the stadium. So in order to build a stadium that has a 360-degree concourse on top of a flowing creek that you cannot interrupt, we had to build a bridge to connect both sides of the creek. You know it now as the First Bank Bridge. I knew it as a triple span, very long, 140-foot heavy bridge that we had to put together and install.
So this bridge is made of weathered steel. It was built in 3 sections, and we had to connect all 3 sections over there and then use a really large crane, actually the largest crane in the southeast, in order to set it in place here. And we had a 1/4-inch tolerance, so the gap between this bridge and this building could not be less than a 1/4 inch in order to be able to fit the expansion joint, the 3-inch expansion joint that had to go in between here. So a lot of really tight precision and really cool element of the project.
One of the really cool upgrades that really Randy pushed for the project was changing the scoreboard from just a standard, basic, boring, in my opinion, scoreboard to this vibrant Tennessee-shaped scoreboard, which really makes it different thing that really points this project out to be really cool.
They're currently welding in it, but on game day, it will be a full scoreboard, full display board from Memphis all the way to Johnson City. So it'll be a really cool element in this stadium.
Has really all of the capabilities of a TV screen. So you could essentially do anything that you wanted to that you could do on a computer on that scoreboard. And I think that's going to give the graphics team at the Smokies and One Knoxville and all the groups that use Covenant Health Park to be able to really get creative with how they improve the fan experience. Another thing that makes that scoreboard really unique is that the largest scoreboard that exists in minor league baseball, which is pretty impactful, especially considering this is one of the many newer stadiums in minor league baseball. And it's really exciting, I'm sure, for minor league baseball fans all over the country that they're going to have a scoreboard this size.
And once we're done with this scoreboard work, this concourse will actually tie directly across to the bridge, all the way across this space here, and that's how you'll get to the other side of the concourse. So that wraps your 360-degree concourse.
So the suite level is really nice from a lot of different perspectives. Not only does each suite have a very impressive level of finishes, each suite has a little kitchenette inside of it for catered food and stuff to be stored, as well as an ice maker, a little refrigerator, and a 3-bay sliding glass door with a swing door. So that entire exterior opening can actually be opened up completely, and you have kind of an indoor-outdoor space. Right outside of the suite, in the outdoor area of the suite, you have some furniture seating as well as a drink rail. A very functional space for suite holders to be able to take advantage of. And then obviously they have their own bathrooms inside, and also the ORNL Federal Credit Union Club. So the ORNL Federal Credit Union Club is a rentable event space on non-game days where you can rent it for receptions, meetings, all kinds of things. And on game days, it's going to be this really awesome space for club access pass holders.
Inside this ballpark club, you have a bar, and then you should expect food and drink to be included with your ticket on game days, as well as access to this full bar here.
To be able to watch the game if they have season tickets up there, and also be able to come inside, have food, drink, hang out, talk to people, and then be able to go back out to their seat anytime they want and be able to watch the game as well. During the pre-construction of the project, the ballpark club space and really all of the roof space was going to be a composite steel metal deck. And so through our value engineering and while we were working through with the design team, we were able to recommend a different roof structure, which is a cross-laminated timber. It's a really cool addition to the stadium. Instead of just looking at a bland black or whatever color metal roof, you have this really cool real wood roof to look at, which contrasts really nicely with the colors of the metal panel and the steel up there. And it just makes a really cool, warm space. And it saved the owner a little bit of money. So that was a pretty cool piece of it. This project was definitely not short of challenges. It's hard to pinpoint one specific challenge that I would say was the most challenging. I think if you ask each of the team members, everybody will have a very different answer because each of the challenges all impacted us very differently. We had a lot of surprises on the project, but also a lot of things that needed some finesse, I like to say. One really cool challenge I would say that I like to talk about a lot is the retractable pitching mound. Obviously that's one of 5 in the world, and this is the first one that's ever been built as part of a new stadium. Really the problem was, how do you convert from baseball to soccer and back? Number one, in a short period of time. Number two, in a cost-efficient manner, and be able to solve this issue of having to break into the pitcher's mound every time. In order to solve that, this retractable pitcher's mound became that solution, and figuring out how to build it, how to put it together to make sure that it actually works as designed and that it's going to work operationally as well is all really an important part of the piece. So there's a lot of coordination and teamwork that we had to do, not only with the professional staff on the Denark team, but also the subcontractor and the manufacturer that manufactured that thing, really kind of figuring it out and figuring out how it's going to work. So we spent and put in a lot of time into making sure that it's that we fully understand how it works in order to make sure that we can deliver a good product for the owner. I think opening day is going to be a really interesting experience for everybody because every single time you come here, it will be different. From the gate you enter from the concessions that you go to, all the way to where you sit in the stadium, whether or not you have season tickets, what event you're going to. You could be at a baseball game, you could be at a soccer game, you could be at a concert. Opening day specifically will be really special because obviously it's a huge celebration for the community. It's a huge celebration for everybody that's been involved in this project. I could probably think of 150 names right now of people that were involved in this project and have a huge stakeholder impact where, a project would have been affected if they didn't exist. Not only that group of people, but also all their friends and all their families and all their cousins and uncles and whatever. So I think it's a really cool thing that I'm really excited for. I hope that on opening day, everybody takes the time to really appreciate everything that went into this building and really appreciate all of the thought that went into the design, all of the effort that went into the construction. I'm really excited for opening day. I've already told all my family members to block the day off, and we all plan to be here. So it's going to be a very exciting thing for all of us, and we hope it's exciting for everybody else in Knoxville too. As we're coming to a close on the project, I think there's really two groups of people that I would really want to shout out and give thank yous to. I think the first group of people is the team. Our project team is second to none. I've worked with a lot of project teams in my career, and this is definitely one to be remembered for a long time. We were humming, is what I like to say. We were all humming. We're all singing on the same tune. And then the second group of people that I would really like to thank and commend is the families of our team, because there's a lot of sacrifice that you put into a project like this, from a personal level as well as from a professional level. And I think on a personal level, all the wives and husbands and children of our team members, we took a lot of time away from our families in order to make sure that this project went well for the community and for the fans. And so that's really, to me, the most important piece, is making sure that they know that that was appreciated, because this is a transformational project. This is not a one and done kind of building. Like, this building is going to be used by people in this community for the next 25 years and even longer than that. So I think it's just something that everybody really understood coming to the table and starting in the project, that this is really important and we need to make sure we do a really good job. And everybody really stepped up to the plate when it came down to that, and we hit a grand slam.